So let me just repeat the question for recording, because we'll do a recording of this run. Hopefully it goes well. So the question again from John is, doesn't the game get boring if you can get max gear or really good gear? I don't have max gear yet, but I got pretty good gear in, 50 hours of play. Right? Like, what's the point? And that begs the question, what is the purpose of Vermintide? Like, what is the meaning of it? Where are you supposed to get your fun? There is absolutely a large degree of fun and a lot to do with terms of what I call extrinsic progression. Extrinsic progression is the same thing that you get out of Diablo, right? It's because you're playing, you're like, damn, I hope I get a good item. I'm going to get a sweet item. There's going to be a long time before, if you're a completionist, if you're a collector, which all of us are, no matter what you say, everyone gets motivated by collecting. Is that really not a headshot? Mini boss possible here. If it is, I'm going to shush and play.
Look at that. You actually hit something.
Free item. Here. Go front, go front. Alright. I'm going to bait it. I'm just baiting this assassin out. I don't care if he gets me. We're going through the house. We'll go through the house. He's above our head. Oh, there he is. Here he is. Alright, let's go outside. Let's go out this way. It's okay if we get hit by an assassin right now. It'd be perfect. And it's okay if the leech gets here too. Because we're not really under any pressure, so we want him to come. Come to me, come to me, come to me, come to me, come to me. Okay. Bomb, and let's get out of here. I want to go back. I don't want to be here. Dodge! Nice. So he moves his hand, and then he grabs. Okay, so I will finish this. Don't let me forget. Oh, he moves his hand, then he does it. It's so frustrating. We have a free bomb?
I got
so
it.
Why don't
we need an extra one.
Yeah, we have an extra one. So we'll go ahead and use it if things get a little stacked up here. So I could get a little more DPS out of a slightly different combo, but it requires more micro and a little bit more risk, so I've been just using chain. So why it's okay, by the way, that I think my character, I'm just mostly left-click spamming, is that's not what I'm mostly doing. I'm mostly trying to pay attention with my ears. The sound design in this game is the best in any game I've ever played. Like, I just heard Packmaster based on him saying Strangler. It's a double? It's actually a double Packmaster. How did he know it was a double? He saw it. I heard it. I could localize those two sounds at the same time, even though they're the two quiet specials in the game. That's how good the sound design is. Okay, so there's absolutely a ton of extrinsic progression in this game. Getting reds, rolling those reds to maximum. It's going to take you, easily 80 hours of play for typical people to get a max character. Let alone trying to get the exact red that you want. Like, I want the red spear, not a red. So there's going to be plenty of extrinsic progression, because then you'd want to play another character and experiment and explore. But what the developers have said is the progression from 0 to 30 and from 0 to good gear, end game level gear, that's the start. That's the introduction. The game starts after that. The game starts when you have good gear. Okay, so let's talk about where you move through up here. Oh, patrol comes down and back around, and there's all these hills that specials could get on top of you and hit you from above, and you won't see them. There's that ridge over there specials could be on. Like, over there sucks. Over here, the lines of sight are pretty clean. There's a nice wall to wall scoot on. Like, this side is way better. So even though it's a little slower, I'm convinced that this is the correct way to progress.
There's the guaranteed heal bottle up around the
And there's some item drops at the end here. And this isn't just me. If you've noticed other parties progressing through this map, oh, that's a troll, I think?
Yeah.
There's only 3 sounds, unfortunately, right now. The 2 ogres share. Patrol, right? Or Packmaster, right? You heard him, right? Oh my god. This is horrible. That was so annoying. Did you see that little the post block twice? Notice that what we're doing is we're hitting the ogre, the troll as we can, but we're mostly watching our positioning and taking care of other things. Okay?
Oh, that's annoying.
Hopefully. I can't guarantee. Back, out, out, out. I can't guarantee. I can't see him. We're going to run. We're going to distance the storm. Now what happens, hopefully, by this is, one, the guy is going to come to us, right? We're not at all worried about this troll. The only thing we're worried is exactly what I just did there, because I ran into one he baited. We're linearizing the fight. We're keeping everything in one side of us so we don't get surrounded. Keep pulling back. Dodge through that hole, that little trail right there. And we're going to get everything else first. This is the easiest mini-boss to do this with because he's cumbersome and slow. I'm going to dodge through this. It's okay. Bind us as well. Okay, that was a lot of damage. That was almost a GG. I'm going to need help. Oh, GG.
Okay, I got it.
Didn't quite expect him from behind. In this game, there's a double horde, and the double horde spawns from the other side with some mix and match too. So it's much easier to get surrounded in this when you're trying to fight a horde that's spawning. By design, it's designed to be harder. Notice he's making sure that we neither get, even though we're both doing our independent thing, we never let each other get too far away from each other. Because if we did, we get extra special spawns.
Do you do headshot damage when he's down like that?
I think so. I get the crit sound on my nose. Well, he's puking. Oh, okay. I was trying to dodge that. The only way to learn what you can dodge and what you can't dodge is to try. As soon as we get mods for it, we can practice. Yada. Okay, let me talk about it again. What did we do here? I wish I could pause. We started up here. We had Troll, Horde, and Special. Like already Stormer already doing it in front of us. Staying there was a recipe to get surrounded and overwhelmed. By pulling back slowly while fighting to a fighting retreat, we could thin the Horde and stay safe and not get surrounded, and hopefully bait the Stormer into us, which is what we accomplished. Why did it get hard? Because it was a double Horde. All these hordes are double hordes. So when we got the first horde low enough, a second horde spawned, and it comes from the opposite direction. So I got surrounded for a minute. I tried to do what I typically do, which is dodge, pull down, pot, drink, and it didn't work. Double, 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 double.
If I missed a point blank shot too.
It's easier now. The spread is really tight. I baited my teammate.
Yeah, I didn't see him behind the other end.
It's even more annoying when there's a assassin that leaps through something you can't penetrate, like a mini-boss. Okay, so we kept linearizing the fight, but then we got a full surround. So the way you usually try to get a heal off is dodge is basically an iframe. So you dodge, which has a longer dodge than your potion, most likely. Dodge, pull up potion, drink, and dodge again. But I couldn't quite pull it off. I almost died because I took an ogre hit. But what did I have to do? I called Walrus, who is an extremely, really experienced player, right? And he kind of knew what he needed to do. He needed to come with me to help share aggro with me, so I could get a moment to drink. He won the game there. We would have lost if he didn't respond by coming next to me. And if you'll notice, both of us were aware of the other person's position the whole time. So even though we were both kind of spread out so we didn't get hit by the same troll hit, we were making sure we never got too far from each other. Right? What were you thinking about as you were playing, Walrus?
Oh, I was just trying to keep up with you, like you said.
Oh my god. Nice. Sorry. There he is.
I was also trying to, when you said you need help in that corner, get my ult off, but I had to...
Did you manage it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, even better. He used his ultimate to tank. I don't know where it's good to hold, so I want to try this house. I think it might be atrocious. This might be terrible. But this is how you learn in Vermin. You gotta test. We better keep this, actually. I think this might be only one way they'll come from, though. Why would it be
they can
bad?
teleport you
Why would it
into
be bad? Yes, specials could port in maybe, but more like you could get specials here that would march in on you, and it'd be very hard to stop them, and you couldn't like line of sight them too long. So sometimes holes like this are excellent in Vermintide. Sometimes they are atrocious. You can hit through walls. If you stand here, they will hit you. But if you hit here, I don't think they'll try to attack you. In the very beginning of Vermintide 1, that was not true. They could attack through walls too. They were there for that, right, Walrus? And it was atrocious. Triple spawn. I almost feel like those spawns came at exactly the time as the horde came, like almost on purpose. So I'm watching my line of sight here, trying to make sure that I'm not in line of sight to the special. He knew his mark that.
Think you can match an Azurite through sheer numbers?
Did you hear what the third one was? You said there's 3.
I thought I heard 30. I'm gonna pull while we're waiting. I'm careful not to be too close to the window because it will hit me. He doesn't need any help. I think there's one more assassin out there. I think that's what I'm hearing. It's dangerous when you come out in situations like that, because specials tend to sit on the roof above you, so you can get hit.
All that flailing, but you can't argue with the results.
So those guys, you see these guys like going in patrolling motion? Those are called roamers. The guys just standing there are called ambients. They spawn in different density in different areas of the map. So near the middle of the map, they tend to spawn very dense. Would you start it? Let's go start it. So delightful. Here he comes. So actually, we should have been faster through this. It was slow. We were a little slow. The reason to have been fast through this is that we would have been able to... we just killed a horde, right? So there's a really good chance we wouldn't have another horde for a little while, because there's a timer in between hordes. So we could have abused that hole in the horde timer to make sure we just nuke this ogre real quick. I'm not going to even bother wasting strength on him. Oh, wow. See, I was still slow. Be careful. Get ready for him. Get ready for the mini boss, or the special. I'm okay. I was okay with hit trading there. It was important to kill that as soon as possible. Nothing was more important than finishing him right there.
I'll do as I wish.
The answer is not always minimize damage taken. The answer is sometimes maximize DPS. It's contextual. Same as last time. I'm using him as a buffer. I want to pull back into the right a little more. That tree makes it so I can't see. I'm also focused on the flanks so we don't get surrounded, right? So we're actually kind of a front. Pull back, pull back. I can't finish him.
The winds die with their master.
Okay, we're right here. We might as well check this chest.
Here,
Nothing. I'm over you.
Right.
There is a chest here, but I say we just push as fast as possible. I'm going to look for a pot real quick, though. So I'm abusing my spear move speed. It's like 15% faster to check.
Primitive healing
There's a healing there if you want. Other side.
Yeah,
Nice.
on the top one.
It's very important that you don't dick around with supplies in between hordes, especially if you're on higher difficulties where it takes a longer time to kill the hordes. Because if you do that, if you dick around for supplies, you'll kill half of your progression time. He's above us, almost certainly. But it's okay. We're going to drop together. Assassins are not dangerous alone. I knew from that fence, from the geometry of it, that was an insta-pounce fence. I don't know how I knew. It's just it looked like one.
Stay clear of it. Packmaster's dead.
I think it's because they can see through it, but that's not like a universal rule. Hey, Fizznaps, are you on the Discord? If so, message me there. If you have any names in mind, message me there with the spelling correct for mod. Let me know.
I missed it.
Yep. Good ears. Oh my god. I'm getting dog danced.
I think I bumped you in your first shot.
Nah, it was he turned around.
Always compensating with machinery.
I'm not sure which side to push, left or right. But normally people are going to push left here because they're going to want Tome. So we saw that Chaos Warrior, right? But we didn't focus on him. We're going to be in trouble here, actually, probably.
Yeah, I can't see through the trees.
Yep, keep pulling back left, up the hill, up the hill. Hit him, hit him, hit him, hit him. Hit him. He died? Excellent. I want to circle left again towards the wall. Look, you can tell that Walrus is a two-handed hammer pro. Did you know he's using one of the least mobile weapons in the game, right? And he's managing to play in an agile way as necessary. So the way you're doing that, I'm assuming, is by every time he does a charge attack, there's a slight extra boost in mobility, correct? Is that still there?
I think so. I got cut off
Okay,
there.
yep, it's fine. It's my fault. I'm going to circle back around to him. It's important to be together to stack up our control. Okay, we might have a brief window to kill him. For you. So two-handed hammer is quite good against armor and shields. Really well played. Another thing we did is by going up here, we kept our options open so we could drop down. Drop downs give you moments of space against rats because they have to jump or go around, both of which gives you plenty of time to react. So I was trying to hit the same shield guy that he just hit to abuse the fact that he'd opened them up for me, and vice versa.
You usually pull the lower guy too.
Oh yeah, I didn't know about that. Great, great call. Oh, missing stationary ambience.
Behind you.
I was trying to just dodge, blind dodge.
Even I cannot
Okay.
prevail.
I'm playing great today, guys. Great. I like getting on the opposite sides of each other, so we have no chance of like accidentally getting the other person hit.
Chaos Warrior has fallen.
What's the matter, Kazaki Dome? Can't get up.
And they're pretty cumbersome. They're pretty slow to turn. You like down here, is that right?
What's that?
You like down here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I like to kill the first horde, then probably push for the chaos spawn.
Berserker or something. Yeah, there's. Here.
Yep. Using the disruption of the bomb to thin the horde, so we can get back to the big guys. So I could have spent this whole time trying to hide behind the dwarf to stab that Chaos Warrior, or I could spend all that time DPSing other things. Heal.
Over here.
Right. How do I tie this? Don't grow careless. You're not bad.
Another thing you should notice is that Walrus and I have a pretty, like, wordless coordination, where he's kind of front man constantly. He's taking care of business, he's holding aggro. Oop, I thought I get a block off that time.
Right here. It's embarrassing.
If both people try to drop back, so one of the oldest issues in Vermintide pubs is every time a special spawns, nobody trusts the other guy to take care of the special. I mean, how many times have you seen this in Walrus, where like two handgunners, the beam staff, and the troop fighter all walk away from the horde when an assassin spawns, and every single one of them takes hits because of it.
So is it true that like the second half of this map, pretty much all the specials are scripted and upgraded?
Everything is scripted in Vents right now. It's like until you open the second door again, which has to go.
Oh, just the gas
It's-
rat coming up and then...
Yep, exactly, exactly. And the Chaos Warrior above, like you know it by heart already. So this needs to go. It needs to be much less scripted, or it has to scale with difficulty.
Stunner warrior comes for us. Done ready.
Hey, what do you think about the scoreboard at the end?
I sense a
It's weird. I've had a really huge discrepancy between different clients too.
Oh, correct. There is errors with it, but I mean like what's depicted on it.
Was it damage, kills?
Yeah.
Then you get the save. Actually, I'm not even sure what else. There's like aids and saves and revives are 3 separate ones, but I'm not sure what
Yeah.
aids and saves differentiates between them.
Aid is like the thing that would trigger safety in numbers, I think, and save is picking people up.
Well, they added revives in one too, right?
Oh, then I have no idea what the difference between those two things are. Maybe somebody can inform me. But I think it would be great to remove kills. That's what I want. I want kills out. I want damage out. I don't want any of those things to be public viewable stats. Because I don't know. Like maybe it won't matter as much at higher level pubs. Because look, Walrus is using a two-handed hammer, right? He's expected to have great control. Like, his light attack breaks shields in one hit, which is an extremely valuable thing, right? And he does lots of armor control. He's got lots of hit stun. What is the word I'm looking for? Not interrupt. What is the word? Stagger. He's got lots of stagger. So and he's got good control against hordes, and his push is strong. Nah.
Yeah, that's
Alright.
like a gun rat.
That's right. So you can do that.
He's playing a tank, and he's playing it extremely well. And he did an amazing job. Like staying alive during that troll, that was amazing, amazing play. And he's gonna have, you know, like a half of the kills I did. Why? Because what do? I just sit there and have maximized attack speed, damage, all sorts of shit. And I'm longbowing things, and I think over damage is still a thing, right? So let's say the rat has 7 HP, and I do 27 damage to it with my longbow headshot. I think it's still the case that I will get 27 damage with it right now. Like, the UI is not working right. I dropped accidentally and took a lot of damage. He did his role, but people are going to be like, look at all those kills I got, which is, like, so toxic in a game that's extremely team-oriented. And unfortunately, unlike a game like Overwatch, where it's quite clear that you did quite a bit of support if you did a lot of healing, it's hard to see it. And that's not even true. Like, think about what's her name? What is the girl in Overwatch with the ulti that EMPs everyone? But anyways, it's more of a controller, right? What they contributed is not going to be extremely obvious. I'm going to use a bomb here, so we have room to kill. Oh, that's not a Chaos Warrior. I'm an idiot. Okay, they're going to get from behind, too. Okay.
Oh, now this big guy. Get a bomb.
Pull back, pull back. Nice. I think you got the... Yeah, you got the back. Like, Walrus contributed as much as I did to this run. For sure. It's just that we're not contributing exactly the same thing. And people get really touchy about EPing stats. And I don't know. I just think it's bad for a co-op game. I think it's bad for a co-op game. I don't know. What do you think, Walrus?
Yeah, that's...
Perfect. I forgot we had pot share, too. So pot share only works on one player now.
Oh yeah, I forgot I had that as well.
Yeah, so we could have actually abused it because we're doing.
I was gonna drink to keep up with you, I forgot it gave it to you too.
What do you think about what they do with Overwatch? Which is they show you your stats, and then they have... I don't even... like, the card system's okay. I don't even love the card system, which is like who had the best damage or something like that. But the bottom line is it gives you information about how well you did, and it would be awesome if it tracked how well you did versus previous games, right? Your average, yada. So you're like, man, I knew I had a great game as my DPS elf. Look at all I did. So you can have some of those moments, but there's always this slight uncertainty in pubs whether you really did more than somebody else. So you're probably going to keep your mouth shut and not try to EP.
Yeah, I'm not sure what aidings and saves.
And I think what LiveShank just said is absolutely the correct thing to think about here. The contributions that Walrus made in that game, and me too, some of them, but a lot of them were really, really impossible to quantify, right? This game was not designed to be utterly quantifiable. It was designed to play really well, which is, here's a secret, which is the same reason why it's extremely hard to explain all of the mechanics, and would be very, very hard to fit all of them on a user interface. I'm talking about per attack cleave, right? How the damage formula works, what hero power does exactly, how stagger works, because it would be extremely hard to describe everything because there are so many mechanics. Whereas with Diablo 3, there really aren't that many mechanics, right? Cooldown is not that hard to explain, even though people have a hard time with it. Damage is really not that hard to explain. Crit is really not that hard to explain. Cleave is hard to explain because it literally varies based on the type of enemy, the difficulty, the weapon that you're using. Like, there's so many things it varies on. Like, the game was designed to play well, not to be quantifiable. And I think the same thing happens with contributions to the team. Like, if you do a really well-timed push that gives space for somebody to take care of a special, you did as much work. Like, you positioned yourself well, you played as a team, you did as much work, if not more. Like, you had needed to have as much awareness, if not more, than the person who was the anti-special person. And that's not going to reflect on a number. It's going to reflect on the team winning something that's hard. Okay. Another thing I didn't finish talking about is the devs thought this game, 1 to 30 is the new player experience. The game starts when you get high-level gear. The game starts when you start getting ready to try to take on the hardest level of challenge, Lord. And the game really starts when you think you're good and you're going to start trying on heroic deeds, right? Now, that does not mean the game was not designed such that people who want to come in and experience a progression, experience getting powerful, bash some rats and move on to a new game, and have a good time for their $30 or $20, and let's say within 6 months and now they're $10 if they buy it on sale, are going to have a good time. It was designed to be a big tent, that many different types of players will be able to have fun with it. But, in terms of like the more hardcore type people who really want to play for challenge or like play for like get all the items and stuff, and especially all the cosmetics, the journey really only is the first leg of the journey is done. There's still, you made it from the Shire to, what is the Elven city? Rivendell, maybe. Maybe that's how far you made it from 0 to 30. More like when you made it from 0 to... what's the first human city they come into where they run into Strider?
3.
See, I knew you would know. I just knew you would know. So maybe 0 to 30 is from you making it from the Shire to Bree. There's still a lot of shit to do before you get to the Mountain of Doom, And they're going to continue to add more and more heroic deeds, and I'm expecting some other mechanics to keep the game fresh long, which nothing's confirmed and I can't talk about anyways. Okay, give me 1 second to pee. If you need to get a water break, Walrus, and we'll take on the next map.
Yeah, I'll grab some water.
That was awesome playing. All right, next.